Ever stumble upon something online and you're just like, hold on, what? You know, those times when you find something so unexpectedly cool, you just have to tell somebody.
That wait what moment.
Yes, that's the energy we're tapping into today. We're doing a deep dive into a corner of the internet dedicated to the strange, the fascinating, all those hold on what moments that make you look at the world a bit differently.
It's that Ripley's believe it or not feeling, that sense of wonder and disbelief. You open up the book and you never know what's going to be on the next page.
Exactly. And with over 2 million subscribers, the Reddit community, our Damn That's Interesting, is kind of like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's become a hub for exactly that kind of content. And before we get too far, I want to assure you, this isn't about cute puppies or the latest memes. This is about the discoveries that spark genuine curiosity. Those things that make you pause and say, damn, that is interesting.
There's something about it, a desire for that kind of curated wonder in a world that's just saturated with information these days.
For sure. So to give you a sense of what we're dealing with here, maybe we could explore some of the subreddit's community highlights.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good.
There's this one post. It features a study from all the way back in 1948. A scientist gave spiders different drugs.
What? To see, like what?
To see how it would affect their web building. And apparently images of these webs are constantly making the rounds online.
It's funny, but that example, it touches on something, like deeply human. You know what I mean? We're just fascinated by patterns and then disruptions to those patterns. Like we see a spider web, we know what that is, but then you see it all twisted and transformed by these substances, and it makes you think twice about the nature of order and chaos.
Yeah. Makes you wonder what was going through that scientist's mind, too. Okay, speaking of unexpected things, another post, it highlighted the contrast between two totally different perspectives of a hurricane.
Okay.
On one hand, you have this intense, almost claustrophobic footage from inside the storm captured by those hurricane hunter pilots.
Yeah.
And then you see that same hurricane, but from the International Space Station.
Yeah.
And it's this serene, almost abstract swirl of clouds. It's wild.
It's a good reminder, isn't it? It's like the things we experience is just massive and impactful down here. You see them from a different vantage point, and it's almost like, well, that's kind of small,
Yeah.
It just makes you realize how vast everything is around us and how our own perception is limited.
Definitely puts things into perspective. Okay, here's one that really got me, and maybe you too. Someone found a coin, a totally ordinary coin, but it had what they call a striking error from when it was made at the mint.
Okay.
Turns out this tiny little mistake could make that coin worth thousands of dollars.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that speaks to a different kind of fascination, doesn't it? It's like this hidden value can exist in the most unexpected places, like
Right.
even just digging through your change,
Right.
It's a good reminder that even in the mundane, there's potential for like surprise and wonder.
Like stumbling upon a treasure map in your attic. You just never know.
Right. And that sense of discovery, that's a big part of what draws people to communities like our Damn That's Interesting in the first place. But it's not just about, randomness. There's a real desire for quality, authenticity.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of that, the subreddit actually has specific rules about what kind of content fits that Damn That's Interesting mold, so to speak.
Rules, huh? That kind of speaks volumes, doesn't it? It's not enough for something to be like strange or funny. It has to have that extra something, that keep you thinking aspect.
For sure. Rule number 1, for example, it basically says posts have to be like genuinely interesting and thought-provoking, and that's a high bar to clear these days.
I can imagine. I mean, think about it. What might have been mind-blowing a year ago, well, it could be old news now. You know how it is.
It's true. And that's where rule number 2 comes in. To avoid getting lost in all that recycled stuff, no low-effort posts, like memes or just screenshots. It's got to be the real deal.
Right, got to keep it fresh, which kind of brings up this whole thing about credibility, especially in the digital age, right?
Huge.
Yeah, and rule number 3 gets at that. Emphasizing direct sources and making sure things check out. Like, don't just tell me, show me the receipts.
Exactly. It's like the community wants to see those sources. Encourages that, healthy skepticism and actually thinking about the information.
It's like a group effort to battle misinformation. By making sure the facts are straight and encouraging critical thinking, these communities become like, what's the word? Curators.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like curators of knowledge in this crazy digital world.
It really is fascinating how these online spaces can help us cut through all the noise and find the stuff that's genuinely, intriguing. Speaking of intriguing.
You want to jump back into some of those community highlights?
Let's do it. And since we were just talking about how our perception of things can be kind of skewed, there's this post about, get this, the Google dinosaur game.
You mean the one that pops up when your internet's down?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for this? It's programmed to run for 17 million years.
17 million. That's longer than.
Longer than the dinosaurs roamed the Earth. Apparently, it's roughly the lifespan of a T-Rex. You know, those Google developers.
That's a fun fact, though. Even the simplest things can have hidden depths.
Right. Okay, speaking of unexpected things, there was this post about the Moses Bridge in the Netherlands.
Okay.
It's this architectural thing, and it's designed to be almost invisible from far away, like you're walking on water.
Yeah. Now that is... Damn, that's interesting.
Talk about human ingenuity, right?
Yeah.
Creating something that just blends in perfectly with its surroundings. It's almost magical.
It is, and it reminds you, there's a sense of wonder everywhere. We just have to be open to it. It's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day,
Totally. We forget to, actually look for those moments of surprise. The things that remind us how much wonder is out there.
It's true. And I think it's not even just about, massive bridges or, hidden code in a game. Even thinking back to that spiderweb study.
Yeah.
It shows how much potential for surprises inside us, too. Like, how our minds and bodies react to something totally unexpected. Absolutely. That's a really good point. It highlights this whole other thing, the fact that we're endlessly fascinating. Every new thing we learn, every weird thing we encounter, it can totally shift how we understand ourselves.
And that brings us to why I think places like a Damn That's Interesting really work. It's like a celebration of that. The unknown.
Yeah.
This reminder that it doesn't matter how much you think you know, there's always something more to discover.
And in a world where it feels like we're just bombarded with information constantly, right? That little spark, that genuine interest, it's almost like a breath of fresh air.
It is. It's like finding a hidden path. So as we wrap up our deep dive today into all this unexpected stuff, I want to leave you with a challenge.
Ooh, I like a challenge. Okay, I'm ready.
What's a damn that interesting moment going to be today? Keep your eyes peeled, your mind curious. This world's full of surprises. You just got to look for them.
That's the truth.